Hi everybody, and welcome to Traveling with Russell, and welcome to a new video, and welcome to Bali, Indonesia. Now I'm right here in Legian, which is just down from the very famous area of Kuta, and I'm here to show you a Balinese supermarket. Now this is kind of an interesting place to actually have a walk around, just for the selection, so let's head on inside. Now I think it's kind of worth just pointing out here a little bit about this kind of place and where we are. This is called Legian Street, which runs from South Kuta, almost down towards where the airport is, through Kuta, Legian, and then if you take this road all the way down, it goes to Seminyak and to a lot of other areas of Bali, or at least the kind of the main tourist areas. Now one thing that's kind of quite interesting is the mode of transport here. Now most people, especially locals, get around on motorbikes purely because the fuel is very cheap, they're easy to navigate, they're good when there's a lot of traffic, because traffic jams can happen very easy here in Bali. It doesn't take much. Now, so this place is called Bintang Supermarket. Now Bintang is actually the name of probably the most recognized beer in all of Indonesia, the Bintang beer. So it kind of has a bit of a reference of the same place, but this is actually just a few motorbikes. This is not that many, but in different parts of Bali and anywhere on the entire island, motorbikes are everywhere. So let's keep going. Now literally anywhere in Bali, particularly the tourist areas, there is food and cafes and restaurants everywhere. And literally across here is a Vietnamese restaurant. Seems a bit out of place in Indonesia, and then there's a few little shops here. There is shops everywhere. Look at that, iPhone 14 Pro. You can walk in and get one right there. And this place here, Chicken Run. This is kind of interesting. They've got barbecue chicken, or roast chicken right there on a spit. How cool is that? And I'm not sure, this one over here might be pork, I think, like little pork roasts. I guess the chicken's a bit more popular. And here's another one which is a little bit out of place for Indonesia, Pie Society. Now obviously there's a lot of Western tourists that come here, a lot from Australia, and we love a good meat pie, basically pastry with beef, and this one's actually got beef and cheese in there together, so, and you can get different types. So there's steak and gravy, mince, which is basically like a beef, buttered chicken, and then chicken and mushroom. That's that mince and cheese one right there. So yeah, it's kind of interesting. These are all just basically, this is in like what's called a pie warmer, so you can just eat them literally like that. And I'm pretty sure if you have that cheese one, it'll just goo out like that. Now walking on inside, I did actually notice that there's a sign over here that says no filming, so hopefully they'll be okay. So let's have a wander in. Yeah, it says no smoking, no hamburgers, no, I don't know, is that like a small dog, and no cameras. Now, it is kind of in Indonesia pretty prevalent, in Australia as well, where you can't film. So hopefully we'll just have a wander around and see what we can see. Now, like is normal in Australia, you get a shopping cart right here, or a shopping trolley. They do actually have the hand baskets as well, but I think there's a bit of a mixture of what people have here. But right at the front, they've got essentially Indonesian souvenirs. Check this out. The first thing you see, this Bali, I guess Bali Buddhas. I'm not sure. This like see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil, if you know this. But this supermarket, by the way, is probably not considered typical. Now, you know, in a lot of my videos I do typical supermarket videos, and this is probably as nice a supermarket as on the entire island. And you'll actually see just the amount of people in here. I mean, this is afternoon on a Friday. There's more Bali souvenirs here. Basically just a lot of knickknacks and little things. Get some coconut bowls right there. And if you have a swimming pool or in your bath, you can get an inflatable for your Fanta or Sprite. You can rest it in the pool while you're having a swim. Now you're probably going to ask, why is there so many souvenirs in a supermarket? Now it's kind of interesting. Lady's got the drum right there. Why is there souvenirs? Now, a lot of the street side kind of sellers and vendors, they have kind of negotiable prices. So the prices tend to be all over the place. And a lot of people will walk in here because it's mostly fixed prices. So whatever the price is on the ticket is what you pay. And it's what they call fixed price. Whereas if you go out on the street and want to get souvenirs, you're kind of having to haggle and bargain and things like that. Here is all of the teas. Lots of teas. Chocolates. Now, Indonesia generally isn't known for a lot of specific things. So you're going to find in this supermarket, there's Rita Sport. You'll see up here Lindt. And then here is Lindt. So there's a lot of imported products in this particular supermarket versus domestic products. Now I wonder if anybody knows about luwak coffee. Now luwak coffee is actually the beans that this little cute little animal actually ingests and poops out. And he eats the coffee beans and then poops out the coffee beans and it becomes coffee. Now if I was to buy this, this is actually illegal to bring into Australia because it's, well, is it animal feces? It isn't really, but it's basically coffee that's been ingested and comes out the other end. But you can't actually bring luwak coffee into Australia. Here's some more kind of souvenirs. Beer covers or beer coolers are very popular here in Bali. Lots of different coffees. So a lot of people also come here for souvenirs to take home, obviously, right? So you can get a lot of gifts quite easily. And again, because it's fixed prices, you're not paying, you know, that negotiable price, and you're not having to worry in your head, oh, am I getting a deal? Is it going to be too expensive? Here is kids' food. So being that it's a full supermarket, baby food right over here. And then over here is, in Australia we call them nappies. In America, diapers. Let me know in the comments, what do you call these? So you're just walking down this aisle, there's lots of nuts. And they love their nuts in Indonesia. And there's lots of different flavored ones, chili crab nuts. There's sort of different types of nuts, different flavors of nuts. There's sunflower seeds, salted cashew nuts, chestnuts, smoked, honey, salted. Yeah, there's so many different types. It's like an aisle of nuts. This is interesting. There's kangaroo brand, love at first crunch. This is, it looks like, oh, teriyaki flavored cashews. So you're gonna see in the video as I'm walking around here, there's a bit of a mix of shoppers. Mostly a lot of expats or a lot of tourists who are shopping. A lot of people also get visas to come and live here. So a lot of people, especially older people, you can get a retirement visa to come and live here. There's a lot of digital nomads who come and live here kind of, you know, semi-permanently. There's all the spices. A lot of spices as well, mind you. Yeah. And then right across from the cleaning section. So here's all the dishwashing liquids, I think these are here. Yeah, it's a lot of stuff in this store. Now, if you might be watching from Russia and you like your instant noodles, dosarak, this would be kind of something very similar. This is the different Indonesian, the brand is called Indomie. So they're, you can actually buy these in Russia in some of the Asian stores. But here in Bali, pretty much whole aisle dedicated to them. There's the cup type ones, and then there's the kind of packet ones that you put in the boiling water. So there is kind of an interesting mix, how they've got a whole aisle of instant noodles right here. So only last week I kind of noticed in Russia that there was no more Kit Kats, and I hadn't even kind of thought about it because I eat a lot of Bounty bars and I love Kit Kat. And I come here to Bali and there's a whole aisle of them, or a whole end of the aisle of them anyway, of Kit Kats. And I notice here there's more seeds and different nuts. And a lot of them are all vacuum sealed as well, so you can kind of travel with these. As long as you're taking them as sealed product, you can easily travel with them. Here's some honeys and jams, relishes. So yeah, it's a kind of a mix of some Indonesian goods generally, but almost, I would say 60-70% of the stuff in here that's food is imported and not domestically produced. And right at the front here, kind of almost by the entrance and exit, they've got ice creams. And depending on where you're watching from the world, maybe you know the brand Wall's ice cream. But I've just noticed here, they've got Häagen-Dazs ice cream in these little cups. And then Ben & Jerry's, which is, they've got all these funky different flavors of Ben & Jerry's. They're all kind of all over the place with their different flavors. And cheeses, some Australian cheese right here. Bigger is an Australian brand. Lupak, I think this is this Danish? I'm gonna say the wrong country and someone's gonna have me for breakfast which country this is from. But yeah, Presidente. And then this is how little dairy they have. Now, if you compare this with Russia, where they've got aisles and aisles of dairy, they've literally got this one little section here, which is a few yogurts, literally a few cheeses, and that's about it. And they have a little in-house pastry stand here. It looks like macaroons. Oh, how nice is that? Oh, and cheesecake as well. It's very interesting, this store. So much of the goods, although Indonesian and Bashir is the language, everything is in English. And very, very few products in this store are in Indonesian language. Versus when you go to Russia and go to the supermarkets in Moscow, it's predominantly all in Russian. And have a look here, everybody, mangoes. And look at all the different types of mangoes. And they're very inexpensive here. Now, for $1 it's about 15,000 rupiah. So this is about 30 or 40 cents. And this is per kilo. So obviously, absolutely grown everywhere in Indonesia, obviously weather permitting, but... And what's the one over here? Is this the... I don't know the name of the fruits so well, but it's very colorful. Is this dragon fruit? I think it is dragon fruit. Obviously, limes, mandarins. Not looking the greatest, I guess. Maybe not so heavily grown in Indonesia. And they've got grapes. More, a little bit more. These are a little bit nicer mandarins. But have a look at this. They sell them individually in plastic. That's kind of crazy. These single serve mandarins. There's apples, yablka is apples, lemons. So this, obviously being a supermarket versus a fruit market, doesn't have as big a selection. But bananas, and have a look at these other banana styles here, these different varieties. And plenty of different types of eggs here. I imagine these are by sizes. I'm not sure here. I guess the different size of eggs. That's the best way I can figure it out. These are very small eggs. I'm not sure are they different variety. Have a look at these. These are like little baby eggs. A lot of types though. And maybe for into making salads. There's essentially all the other vegetables, but it's, I think, you know, people, do they not eat salads as much? It's, you know, you're not really seeing a big space taken up for it here in the supermarket. if you compare it to all the general grocery in the back here, different breads. They don't have a bakery in the store, it's all brought into this store. So we got different hams, bacon, but not too many, literally 2 or 3 different types. And here's the different greens, celery. These are all in Indonesian names now. Kale, curly kale. And then coming over here, there's a little small butcher shop. So we've got some different cuts of meats. And it looks like, they've got the butchers back there. The different stuff. Someone's doing a little pickup. Yeah, they've got a nice selection of meats here. I mean, if you're staying here on holiday, I mean, depending on the type of accommodation you get, you know, you're not going to have a kitchen, of course, but there is a lot of villa-style accommodation here where you'd have a kitchen. Do you really want to cook on your holiday? This is kind of interesting here. Almost every brand of product has a fridge. And the Bintang is the beer brand, which obviously is the name of the place. But there's even an Anchor fridge there for the butter. And then I think this is yogurt. Delivering you. This is kind of coconut drinks. It's more coconut drinks, fruit drinks. But it's interesting, there's like, 20 different fridges with 20 different brand names. So part of the agreement probably would be these companies can provide the fridges to put their product in, but it's just interesting the mix of why they don't have like one standard fridge and then all the different, these are the other beers in Indonesia here, Bali High, which is not nearly as popular as what Bintang is. Now I really hope walking around, the music is absolutely pumping in here as well. It's not like a quiet music. They've got some nice kind of tunes playing, so I guess it creates a nice friendly atmosphere when you're walking around. You know, although I can find it in Russia, right? But have a look there, Coke, that's sugar-free, and then there's even different flavors of Fanta as well. This Rosa Strawberry Fanta. You need strawberry Fanta, and then different drinks here. These are a lot of different coconut waters and flavored waters. And then here's the kind of energy supplement kind of waters. If you ever get Bali belly and you get sick, they always tell you to have Pocari Sweat. It's good for your stomach if you, they call it Bali belly. If you know you can't adjust to the diet when you come here. And have a look at this. Right here, Australian Bundaberg. And then actually Bigford's is another brand as well. And just walking right to the back here, here's the rest of the beer section. San Miguel is actually a Filipino brand, if I'm not mistaken. It's interesting that they've got such a big display here. Singaraja. Singaraja is actually a place on the north end of Bali Island. That's maybe where the reference is to Singaraja. Bali High. So yeah, these are the kind of local beers. And then the Bintang right here, the classic Bintang. It's probably the most known drink on any bar, cafe, restaurant, hotel in Indonesia, in Bali particularly. And now you can even get flavored ones. So there's the lemon flavored beer right here. It's called Bintang Radler. It's lemon flavored. And of course there's no alcohol versions as well. And then there is different imported beers. So Heineken right there. And then Guinness. These look like Chinese brands, maybe Japanese. It's kind of interesting. I don't even recognize the labels on some of them. Now, I'm not sure what the fascination is in Indonesia with washing your clothes, but they have endless amounts of different clothes, detergents, and different flavors, smells, types, brands. I'm not sure what this never-ending fascination is with washing clothes. And a big thing in Indonesia and Bali is mosquitoes. Now, depending on if it's wet season or dry season, plenty of types of bug spray. In America we call it bug spray, but insect repellents is the word that you'd use in Australia. Have a little look at the candy section here and all the different chocolates. And again, I see Kit Kat. And I'm just looking down here. So in Australia, we've got Maltesers, and these are called Maltitos. So it's kind of an interesting kind of overlap of the brands, but kind of mostly imported products here. And Hershey's, here is Skittles. These are definitely not Indonesian. So if you're coming to Bali, you can get a lot of different imported products. Haribo is very much European. So depending on the country of manufacturer, Hungary, Germany, all different countries in Europe where you can get Haribo from. Yuppie. Maybe this is Indonesian. And then we know Mentos and all this sweet and sour candy here. Lots of choices. So one thing that is interesting about this supermarket, if I want to compare it with others that I've done a lot of videos about, is kind of how dark it is. Now it's got a huge ceiling here and the big Bintang branding over there. Cheers to the new us. And the whole thing with the cheers to a new us is because this store was recently rebuilt. Going back a few years ago, they had a very devastating fire here and the whole place burnt down, and just, you know, absolutely devastating for the business and the owners of this place. But they've kind of made a very beautiful store. I mean, no question about the nice building that they've kind of remodeled and built, but it's very kind of moody when you walk around. This sort of darker lighting. It's very interesting that it's typically supermarkets are very bright and very well lit. And then you come in here and it's, if you really wanted to read the back of a label, you'd really struggle to kind of see the ingredients or what's actually in the product. As I walk on out here, I'm actually going to go to another supermarket and squeeze it into the same video. Hopefully then I don't have to make 5 videos at 5 supermarkets in Bali and we can see a little bit of the place. I got myself a bottle of water. This little itty bitty one right here, 2,000 rupiah for small. No worries, thanks. Yeah, so I'm going to go to another supermarket and we're going to make a little bit of a comparison. Now to go from Bintang Supermarket to the other supermarket, I'm going to take a motorbike taxi, and he's just literally pulled up. I ordered and he's right here, so I'm going to jump on the back and we're going to head over to the other supermarket. Now literally I was on the motorbike for about 10 minutes, maybe 8 minutes to get here, and this is Transmart. It's actually a hypermarket. Very colorful, by the way, but it's kind of on the lower level here, there's some little restaurants, and then the upper level is the supermarket. Now, this place is a lot quieter than what I was expecting. Now, Indonesia had almost 2 years of lockdowns and travel restrictions, which kept everybody from coming to Indonesia and leaving Indonesia. So, I just noticed over here is KFC. And have a look at this big Oga. These, they have a holiday coming up next week called Nyepi. And this is one of these. This is actually styrofoam. This motorbike's probably real, but they make these, they carve them out of styrofoam or polystyrene. And then this Western influence around Bali here, A&W is kind of an American burger place. A&W is also the name of a root beer or a kind of a cola. And then as they've got a travelator. And then down here, actually it's not even open, it's been closed down, is Wendy's, which is an American burger chain. So these kind of different shops that I'm going to squeeze into one video here. It's kind of interesting, the Western influence and the different brands that are in the store. Now to get up to the upper level here, you've got to go up a series of travelators and then go through these little kind of middle shops here, but there's a lot of kid stuff. And then there's clothing, jewelry, watches, everything in the middle. And everywhere you go, there'll be a money changer close by, because a lot of people traveling to Bali obviously have foreign currency. Yeah, there's plenty of t-shirts there. Have a look, I'm in Bali. And what do I say on the t-shirt? Boston, Massachusetts. Now as I head on into this store, I'm literally the only customer. Have I even seen anybody as I walked around? It's very strange. I've been here before years ago. As we see, Baskin and Robbins is closed here as well. Have a look, electric scooters. We want an electric scooter, but it's very strange. Where are all the shoppers? I don't know. Now this is the last travelator, I think. It's only actually up on the second level, but they've got this kind of just slightly angled travelays to get up here. So you got to go around and around a couple of times. Now just walking in here again, this is eerily quiet. Walking inside here, there's really not many people. Now we'll have a bit of a walk around. This is a huge place, by the way. This is essentially a hypermarket, so it's very, very big.
I'm sorry, not record in the inside. Okay, I'm sorry.
So I'm not exactly sure what happened at the other store, but it seems like I'm now at another store, and hopefully we'll be okay to film here. So it turns out in Bali there is 2 Transmarts, and the one I was at, essentially they don't want shoppers there and they don't want people there because it looks bad for the company, because there was nobody there when I walked through, and I kind of did just a little bit of the store. And have a look here now. This is actually in reverse here. So there's a lower level, which is kind of a department store. And then you can see here, shoes, clothes, more shoes. And where we want to go, now I can't speak Mandarin, but I can speak supermarket area right here. So let's head on downstairs. So from what I can understand at the other store, is they are encouraging everybody to come to this shopping mall. I'm not too sure why, because where I was, it was very strange just walking in, and I was thinking, where's the people? There's no people here, and the store is fully open, but they're discouraging shoppers to go there. I don't know how that comes about business-wise, but let's have a look at this store as a comparison to Bintang Supermarket, and let me know what you think. So just stepping off these travelators coming down here, it's kind of a mix of, well, it is a supermarket, which is what we'll see, but this lower level area here is kind of a furniture store. It's interesting in Indonesia how they mix the supermarkets so well together. You can get some school lockers in the same store. You can buy an electric bike. Check out some of these electric bikes here. They're always very interesting looking. They look, you know, definitely not branded, if that makes sense. And they're all wrapped in cling wrap. And as I pointed out in the Bintang Supermarket, the fascination with washing and washing your clothes. Now this whole side over here is different types of detergents, washing, mostly all liquid detergents. There's not so much powders, but it's just insane how much they love to do their washing. I don't think I've seen this in any other country where they've got this much assortment of stuff. That's some kind of a clothes washing liquid. And so we just come through here. This is a bit of everything over here. Coffee. There's some food over here. Some cornflakes. Kellogg's cornflakes. My gosh, I've really been out of the countries a long time. Definitely we don't see it in Russia, Kellogg's cornflakes. And just walking around a little bit further here, there's a little bit of dairy stuff. I didn't sort of notice it coming to Bali before, how little dairy products they have, and milk products and things like that. It's very tiny how, comparison to the whole store here. This is a huge, huge store. This is essentially a hypermarket. And then on top of this, where I initially came in, there's also a kind of small shopping center as well. So also this place is kind of empty as well with people. I mean, this is absolutely a shopping day, but not too many people here. Fruit and vegetables, kaba-kaba. And pretty much all fruit and vegetables are refrigerated. I mean, this store's air conditioned, it's nice and cool. It's roasting hot outside, let me tell you. It's not especially getting off the plane from Russia to get here. It's insanely hot. Bananas. We've got dried fruits and dried snacks. And they've got even a little cafe here. Again, not too many people around. There's literally only staff in here. I feel like I'm again the only person. Ice creams. Dosuka. Dosuka. So it's kind of like they build a supermarket, but where are the shoppers? Where are the people to buy food? Literally. And here's some prepared food, but this is actually all basically refrigerated. So these are actually already cooked. So you just take them home. These are actually for satays. So you've got a small barbecue and put them straight. There's all different fish and seafood ones right there. And then just general groceries here. Lots of hot sauces and spicy sauces for your food. Just feel a bit strange, like I'm the only one in here now. It is open to the public, absolutely, but how is it only that I'm here? Now I really just wanted to shoot one video, and I hope it ends up editing down not too long. Coming to two very typical Balinese or Indonesian at that supermarkets. And this one's a hypermarket, so it's just a little bit bigger, but kind of similar selection to Bintang, but Bintang a little bit more imported stuff than what this store has. I must admit, walking around, the store is impeccable. I mean, everything's faced up, even the labels are at the front. You know, you're working in supermarkets, sometimes there's not that time to put things nicely on the shelves, and in here every item's been turned the right direction, and a lot of Coca-Cola products we can see, and flavored Fanta. I was looking for another bottle of water. I was thinking of getting one of these. Actually, this is one of these flavored ones, these Sportivo bottled drinking water. So I can grab that in a second. So yeah, plenty of bottled water. So I've literally walked around this lower level here, and there's hardly any food. I mean, in terms of the whole store, and for the fact that it's a hypermarket, it's probably about a quarter of the store compared to everything that's non-food related and kind of non-grocery. So, I mean, it's a very nice store. It's got everything you'd ever want. But there isn't a big selection of food. Actually, I found a different bottled water here, Mizone. It's lychee lemon flavored. So as a person who doesn't drink a lot of water, I kind of tend to get these flavored ones. Now I thought I'd just point out here, just as I was kind of coming out of the supermarket, they've got a little alcohol store here called Peak Connoisseurs. It's kind of interesting. They've got some very nice premium spirits here. And I just noticed here, Beluga vodka from Russia there. It's one of the most recognized worldwide brands of vodka. I must admit though, the prices are a little high here because there's so many taxes on imported goods that come to Indonesia. But there's some very nice cognacs here. Balvenie whiskey, Dalmore, and these aren't your household kind of selection Chivas Extra, but they have a very nice store. I mean, this is really catering to Indonesians, to people that travel here, maybe from Jakarta and other places. Even they've got from Dominican Republic, Brugal, rum here from Dominican Republic. Bacardi from Puerto Rico, Amarillo from South Africa. So yeah, and I was just asking about Indonesian wines, and they have a couple here. Sabo Bay, down here Pelaga and Cape Discovery. So there's a few Indonesian wines, and yeah, it's just nice to see kind of a nice liquor store or wine store here. You kind of think of these sort of islands that they may not have everything, but just looking at the selection, it's excellent. Okay, everybody, I do hope you've enjoyed this walk around of two different Balinese supermarkets. So we went to Bintang Supermarket and we came here eventually to Transmart, well, Hypermarket, but it's really a supermarket. It does have a lot less food in there than it does have kind of non-food items. So yeah, what did you think? What do you think of Balinese supermarkets? Let me know in the comments what you think of this kind of walk around. I'm gonna go back to my hotel now. I wanna go for a swim in the pool. Although it's beautiful air conditioned in here, I wanna relax a little bit. I made my video for you guys that watch because of the supermarket tours and the walking tours. Please let me know in the comments. Thumbs up if you liked it. Thumbs down if you didn't like it. It's okay. I can take the thumbs down with a thumbs up. Thanks for watching, everybody. I've got another video for you to watch right after this one. If you want to click that and take a look at the video on the channel, please watch away. Bye, everybody.